Hey everybody, get on in here. My screen is crooked. There we go. Gotta get my pillow behind my back so I sit up straight. Yeah, I have little things. So get on in here. I've got stuff to talk about. Hey Rachel. Hey Amy. Get on in here. I talked to my nephew this morning. He calls me on Saturday and Sunday. And he has a counselor that he talks with. And she asked him what it was that I was holding when I touched the screen. And I call it my magic wand. But this is a tool Robert made for me. He took the tip off of one of those pens that you use on your iPad or your phone when your hands are too cold. He took the tip off of that. He whittled me a rod here I told him what length I needed. And he put a little shaft on the bottom to hold everything. And then it wouldn't work. And we couldn't figure out why it wouldn't work. And what came up with it needed some conductivity because our hands, touching our iPhone and stuff, our hands have a charge to it. So he ran a wire down the center of it and filled it up with epoxy. And it works like a charm. Works like a charm. So it's my little magic wand. So speaking of Mississippi, we got a storm coming in, everybody. It should hit about Tuesday. And they are calling for snow down in Mississippi. I'm looking, somebody said they were across the river in Arkansas. My father built the bridge. He was the crane operator pouring cement and stuff. The bridge between Dyersburg, Tennessee and Caruthersville, Missouri. And every time I cross over that bridge, I think of Daddy working on that. Anyway, so I got you in here because here it is. You're always looking for the magic cure. You know, I've given you the chaos cure. Well, I'm going to give you a magic solution. And I got my little magic wand to prove it. To get things done. And I know it seems really simple and you're not going to believe me. But unless you do this is the magic that's behind the Fly Lady system. Until you can do this, everything else is hard. Everything else is difficult. And the cure, besides my book, The Chaos Cure, but the cure and the magic word for you, and if you get this in your head and if you'll focus on it, you will have success at flying. And the cure is to declutter. Get rid of clutter. You can do it lots of different ways. You can do a 27 fling boogie. You can do a 5-minute room rescue. You can clean out hot spots. You can declutter a different space every day or focus on just one area. Somebody asked what my magic wand does. If I punch my face with it right here, it helps the camera to keep from going in and out, trying to focus on my hands. So I touch it and I can get rid of little notifications that pop up, and I can scroll back on your comments if I miss something like I'm doing right now. And that's what it does. Well, getting back to decluttering. We're coming up on March the 5th, which is my sister Dina's birthday. March the 5th is the first day of it's Fat Tuesday. and Lent. And that's 40 days till Easter. Well, we're going to get a head start on Easter because February is our month to get rid of, to declutter. It's our focus for February is decluttering. So I want you to commit to getting rid of a bag a day of clutter. It can be a small bag, it can be a large bag, it can be a garbage bag, it can be a grocery bag. I don't care what kind of bag, but just make it one bag. We're going to do 40 bags, 40 here, 40. Let me change that around. 40. 40 bags in 40 days. Lent's not until March. Lent doesn't start until March. So we must have a late Easter in April. So let's get rid of some clutter. Let's do it. And let's focus on one bag a day. That's all you got to do. Just one bag. It can be trash or it can be stuff that can be given away and recycled. And the secret is to take it out to your car immediately. Let's focus 40 bags in 40 days. And we've been doing this a long time. So the more clutter we get out of our house, the easier it is to do our weekly home blessing, the easier it is to do our routines. And it just makes your life so much easier with less stuff. Less stuff to worry about, less stuff to move around. It just makes it so much easier if we will get rid of our clutter. I remember one time we got a testimonial from a lady, and she had 5 children. I can't find this testimony anymore. I'm having to go on my memory. But she has 5 children, and she and her husband, and they were living in an 800 square foot house. And we all say, how you do that? Well, her house that was closing in on her because she had so much clutter. I mean, so much clutter that there was clutter down the hallway. There was clutter against every wall. And she started decluttering, and she was wanting to move. She wanted to get a new house. She said living conditions were horrible. And she started decluttering with us. And before you knew it, March the 5th is the first day of Lent or Fat Tuesday or whatever. So she started decluttering, and she didn't have to sell her house because her house became exactly what she wanted. Now, when I was a county commissioner here in my little county of Transylvania County, we had a constituent, a person who lived in our county who was having problems, and one of my fellow commissioners and I went out to her house to see her because we were smart. We were really smart. Now, the other fellow was an engineer, and here I was fly lady. And her water wasn't working. She had gravity-fed water from a spring, and I knew how to mess with the spring. So we went out and fixed the spring. It had, through freeze and thaw processes, her line had gotten separated. So we went out and fixed it up for her so she had water coming into her house. Don't ask me how I know how to do that, but I did know how to do it. And we walked in her house, and she's heating her house with her oven, which is dangerous, totally dangerous. And she's sitting right by her oven, and her house is so cluttered. And she had her smoke alarms. She had pulled the batteries out of them in wherever they were in the house, and they were hanging open. And she pulled the batteries out because they were making that beeping noise. Now, that's automatic. You're going to die if you don't have a smoke alarm. So we walked upstairs. And when we walked upstairs, my friend who's the engineer, he said, Marla, we need to get out of here. We shouldn't even be walking up these steps, because he noticed that the walls were cracking. Do you want to know why the walls were cracking? She had floor to ceiling magazines and newspapers in one room above the dining room. There was piled, and these were 10-foot ceilings piled to the ceiling. And he said, this house is going to fall down. This house, she was complaining about the cracks in the wall, and she was complaining about the road that the DOT had put in right beside her house. And that wasn't the reason her walls were cracked. The reason was the clutter. So we have got to get rid of our clutter. The room I'm in right now used to be piled to the ceiling with stuff. And I got rid of it. I would do a 27 fling boogie 3 times a day. And this room was so bad I couldn't even go in here. So I would reach in through the door and grab a box and go into my dining room table, which was cleared off, and I would sort through that stuff. And I had to set my timer for 5 minutes, and then I had to take that box and sort it into giveaway, put away, throw away. And I would throw away the stuff that wasn't worth keeping. If it was something I wanted to keep, I had to go put it away where it belonged, and it couldn't come back in this room. And then I had to, whatever was going to be given away had to go to the car right then. 3 times a day I did that. And eventually, after about 3 months' time, this room, I could walk in here and work. I could really do it. So, we're going to start decluttering. And we're going to do it religiously every single day. Clutter, we're going to get rid of the clutter. We can start this week in our living room. Anywhere you have a pile, look at it. If you have a cabinet that's stuffed full, if there's a drawer that's stuffed full, get in there, pull a couple of things out, and let's get rid of some stuff. And we're going to get rid of a bag of stuff each day. You can do it. Now, I want to talk to you about my nephew, Ben. He calls me on the weekends because it's really hard on him. He's been in prison for 4 years. He's clean and sober. And he has, he says that he calls me during visiting hours. And during visiting hours, all of his buddies, or cellies as he calls them, they're going to visit with friends and family. He says he's been there 4 years and he's only had one person visit him. One. I'm guilty. So he had to send me and Patty, he's sending me and Patty the cat's at the door. Please forgive me here. The cat's at the door making a noise. Stop it. He's sending us a paper that we can fill out because we got to be approved to come and visit. And hopefully in the next few months we can go visit. I got to let the cat in because he's not going to let me finish talking. Hold on. Maybe I can reach it. Yep, he's here. He's making himself known. I'm back. So hopefully Patty and I can go visit him in the near future. But he did send me a letter to read to all of you. Now, this week is a tough week for Ben. It's a tough week for me and Dina and Patty too. Because it's our sister's birthday on the 31st. And it's the first birthday since she passed away in July, 6 months ago. So, if you could drop Ben a letter or something, it would be a good time to lift him up, because he's having a hard time. Now, I've written out his address here, because I didn't know if Patty or Liz would be here. But here's his address, Ben Sherrill, and this is his number 325-281, and he's at 1045 Horsehead Road, Pikeville, Tennessee, 37367. Now, send him a note or whatever you want to do. Some of y'all have sent him books. He can only get books from Books A Million or Barnes & Noble. He can't get books from Amazon. They send them back. Yep, they do. And he doesn't have a whole lot of space for books. But this week I've sent him a calendar and some little things. And he's trying to do low carb. God bless him. You know, he's trying to do low carb. The cat's gone bonkers, just so you know. But here is his letter. He said, "Dear Aunt Marla and Flybabies, I may have written the other letter a bit premature. I've received well over 100 cards, some from Japan, the Netherlands, Switzerland, Australia. Some have sent books, letters, and some even had cards for my friends. Y'all were so sweet at Christmas. So since my last letter, I've had someone walk out of my life. His girlfriend broke up with him. That's the one person that had ever visited him. And in my newfound freedom, I've learned to, number one, give it to God. This is good. Number two, accept the things I cannot change. He is in AA, and he's helping to facilitate groups. I'm so proud of him. And to look for the good in everything. Where have you heard that one from? Now, I've said all of that to say this. Yes, I've lost a couple of loved ones recently, but I've gained no telling how many of the most caring people in this world. Fly Lady and Fly Babies, you are awesome. With the love and support you've sent me, I'm going to make it through this horrible time. Fly Lady asked for y'all's help and you responded. Penrod, get over here. Fly Lady asked for y'all's help and you've responded. I am absolutely moved to tears by almost every card. They are so intimate. And for the girl who is 19 days sober, you keep it up. And if you would like to just talk, I'm here for you. That's the counselor coming out in him. Because he's found his new calling in life, I think, is to help people. I know what you're going through. I'm super proud of you. And for you, Fly Lady, I know this was your Christmas present to you. But you've got something else coming that is homemade. And y'all all saw it this week. It was the wanted poster. How sweet was that? You will be for sure in tears. It's being made as we speak. Please share it with the Fly Babies. I already know you will. So once again, thank you all, and I pray that your holiday was as good as mine, and this next year will be the best you've ever had. I love you all. Love, Ben. And his nickname is Flywheel. Can you imagine that? But he's had that nickname a long time. So if you want to send Ben a note, his mother's birthday is the 31st, and he's having a tough time. So if you get a chance, drop him a little note, and if you got a couple extra stamps, stick them in there for him. It's just hard. Poor kid. And he wants me to print off some pictures from his old Facebook pages so he's working on a timeline of his life, and he wants to talk about his drug use during that timeline, and it's just Sister Dina, you're about the best card sender of anybody I know in the whole family. So if you get a chance, send him too blurry. I'm trying to get it up close. Ben Sherrill, number 325281, 1045 Horsehead Road, Pikeville, Tennessee. 37367. They can be little papers, the paper stamps. They can't be in a hard book or anything. They can be just loose stamps. He said we could send stamps. And if you send a self-addressed stamped envelope, he might even write you back. Who knows? Y'all have been so good to me to help him in some form or fashion. Well, the cat's driving me nuts. Just driving me nuts. I got to calm down. So, folks, we're going to have a good week. We're going to start to declutter, and you can pause it and look at it. You can listen to me and write it down. Where is Ben? Ben is in Pikeville, Tennessee. It's close to Dayton. I don't know if it's in the Eastern time zone or Central time zone, but he is he's been there for 4 years, and he was in county jail before that. And a poor kid, he really never had a chance. When he was in county jail, he was in the same cell with his dad, you know? Sorry. But he might get out on probation or parole in September, and then we can have my sister's funeral, because I don't want to have it without him. Hopefully he'll get out in September, but we don't know. He told me to start looking at halfway houses, and if you live in Tennessee and you know of a good halfway house, let me know, because I don't know anything about halfway houses. I just know that he told me to try to investigate some. His birthday is in May. His birthday's in May. But his mother's birthday is January 31st. We were both born in January. The cat is, well, I better get off of here, y'all. The cat is going to tear up the door. He's picking at the bottom of the door, and he is a bad cat, and he's going to jump up and try to go after my scarves. That's the next thing he's going to do. So, folks, we got a couple of good sales going on. Our dishcloths are half price, $5.97 for 3 of them. They're the best, most absorbent dishcloths you'll ever use. And then multi-wand is half price. Get your calendar, because we're going to be out of them. And, don't waste any time, because we're running low. I ask for an inventory every day, and we're just moving on down. So everybody, y'all have a good day. Get some rest. Do something you want to do. Renew your spirit today, because talking to you renews mine, and doing it every day it really helps me. I love you all, and I will talk to you tomorrow. See you later. Oh, that didn't work.